Good morning, everybody. My name is Bailey Cooper, and I would like to welcome everybody to Eric Lofholm's daily 15-minute motivational call. This call is better than a cup of coffee, and it's designed to help you start your day with a fast start to make it a great one. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something I have a lot of experience with, and I titled this Door Knocking Secrets to Sales Greatness. I'm about finished up with this book, and that's what the title is, and I figured what better way to help people increase their sales by giving them another bit of ammunition to add to their sales funnel. And door-to-door sales is a very cheap source of revenue for a lot of companies that does not cost them very much overhead. So in terms of what I've seen for home improvement companies, dollars spent on traditional lead sources, you spend $1 on a direct mailer, and if you get $2 back, it's a good day. So for door-to-door, for every $1 spent, typically you get about $5 in return. And so I just kind of want to tell a little joke, and there's this meme that I found that's hilarious. And it's this person going door-to-door being made fun of, and it says, I suppose going door-to-door with a clipboard could be considered a slight improvement on your job at a call center. And that's just kind of the mentality. So if you're ever in a position to where you can start a door-to-door campaign or you have a need for it, I really think it could benefit anybody. So just to kind of give you a little bit of my background, I spent the majority of the last 11 years going door-to-door in some form or another. And prior to that, I was in the Boy Scouts. So I spent, every summer we would go door-to-door and sell popcorn. And when I graduated high school, before I went off to the military, I spent my summer going door-to-door, and I did a lot of different various things. I would market flyers for home improvement products. I would market my own landscaping, anything just to make, a quick buck. And after I got out of the military, I went back to door-to-door, and I started marketing for my dad in his siding and window business, as well as my own landscaping company. And I made $30,000 going door-to-door working for myself. And I did it in about 8 months. So I was able to take the winter off. And as a 22-year-old kid, that's pretty impressive for somebody with no college degree. So I'm sharing this just because I had a lot of resistance towards this. And that little joke, I always felt inferior, the old egomaniac with the inferiority complex. I could totally relate to that because you've always got that one person a day that looks down on you and says, why are you doing this? You could do so much better with your life. But in reality, most people look up to you for doing that because it's not easy going door-to-door. It's actually on a scale of 1 to 10 for a degree of difficulty. I would actually say somebody that's in the career of door-to-door sales, that would be a 10, right up there with people that sell stocks and bonds. Aside from that, so there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of resistance to going door-to-door. So there's a huge return on investment, though. So that's where I wanted to sell you guys on this, is that if you're ever interested in it, there's a few tips, few tricks, secrets that I can give you that will ensure immediate success. So the first principle that I want you guys to jot down is to eliminate fear. Eric tells us to take action in the face of resistance. Well, underlying that, there's probably a fear of what people will think of you. Oh my God, I own this business and now they're going to see me knocking doors. What are they going to think of me? So you've probably got negative beliefs. Somebody knocks on your door. You're sitting down eating dinner. What is your first thought that comes to mind? Oh, my God, why is he at my door? So if you can eliminate that fear, and maybe look at it from the standpoint of this person is probably trying to take care of their family, and you may be the 100th door that they've knocked tonight. And they may have been told no 30 times in a row before your door, and they're still there with a smile on their face. It's a completely different perspective, and it helps you eliminate that negative belief, conscious or unconscious. So the next, you got to create a compelling intrinsic motivator for why to go knock doors. I would teach my guys the value of every single door. So in terms of somebody getting paid $11 an hour and getting paid $50 for every single demonstration that was given, every door is worth about $1. So $1.10 or such. So if you knock 100 doors in a day, you make $100 a day. And that's not bad because you're out there knocking doors for 4 hours. So that person's really making about $25 an hour. And when you look at it like that, for most people, that money motivator, that is a very powerful intrinsic motivator. For other people, they're just grateful to have a job. You know, maybe they got laid off and they're looking for something to get them by. And if they can go out there and make, $500 a week part-time, that means a lot to them. So they're grateful to have the opportunity. Other people like myself, I was really looking for the skills. I wanted to get into the sales aspect because I knew people were able to make six-figure incomes in selling home improvement products. So it was really easy for me to eliminate that fear is because I saw the future. I saw the next step, the skills that going door to door, I was convinced would help me be able to sell anything. So I just want to tell you, with proper training and practice, it will absolutely come naturally for you. So the very next step that you got to do is you got to identify your target market. So you've got a product, you're currently marketing it, and you've got a marketing budget. So now you may not be aware of this, but there's probably a completely different market to tap into to increase your sales. So let's say you're selling health and wellness products. Well, if you may be touching the business-to-business end of it in reciprocal referral relationships, like maybe chiropractors or other people in the industry, you could totally change the game if you incorporated a door-to-door tactic because on a lot of areas, you do not need a door-to-door permit. So if your target market is 20 to 50-year-olds that either own a home or rent, well, then that virtually opens up everybody that has a house that you could market to. So there's strategies you can incorporate like info.usa that are free. They may try and charge you, but I'd be happy to share with you some tips to find out demographics in your area without spending any money. And then the next step, you want to get printed maps. You might be able to get resources like Microsoft MapPoint. That's one of my favorites. They stopped making it, so you might be able to get it for really cheap on eBay or something. But being able to know exactly where you're going to go, where your target market is, so that you can track the data and go back to that area is going to ensure your success. Another thing you could do if you want to really go full scale and get a door-to-door campaign going is have a CRM system that, you're going to want to track your data. You're going to want to have either you manage that data or pay somebody to manage that data, because that is understanding those metrics and where you've gone, how long it's been since you've gone there, where you had success, where you don't want to go back because you didn't have success. And also you want to know who's actually answering the door. One mistake that I've made in the industry is we'll hit a top zip code and maybe get 10 leads out of it, knocking it for 2 days, but not understanding the data is that only maybe 1 out of 10 people answer the door. So that still leaves 90% of the doors that we knocked open to go back and knock again. And incorporating a system like there's a company called Smart Circle that does this, is they'll knock a territory in the morning, then they'll knock it in the afternoon. And they'll knock the exact same doors, and they'll have the same maps, and they'll know exactly who opened the door and who didn't. And using this strategy is something that I tried in the roofing industry, which we got immediate results. We would knock the same area 10 times in a month and get leads every single time that we went there. So knowing your target market and also not giving up on an area just because you had bad results in one day. So that's where the data comes in handy. Next is you got to have a sales system. Eric teaches us the sales mountain. So Silver Protege, you're going to learn your sales system. Next, Gold Protege is where you're going to learn your scripts. And you got to have a sequence to follow your scripts. You got to know what to say, when to say it, what to say next, common objections, how to close. All of these is incorporated in having a system. A lot of people, what they do is they wing it. And when you wing it, you get wing it results. So when knocking a door, I would strongly suggest any script. There's about 3 common ones in the home improvement industry, and a lot of them are very similar. And the gist of it is we're doing work in the area. So incorporating, if you've got customers and they're okay with you dropping their name or maybe just their first name, that would be the best place to start. And using the theory of the Joneses, we're doing some work in the neighborhood. That's a really great script that a lot of people use and find results. I personally, when I was in the alarm industry, would always drop different names depending on where I was, and I would point to yard signs, and I would have current customers that were raving fans that maybe gave me a 5-star review, and I would use that in my intro pitch. But having, your entire system, your intro has to be the most powerful because it's within about 15 seconds that somebody decides whether or not they're going to buy from you or not, or whether they're going to listen to you or not. The very next principle I want to give you guys is Eric talks about it a lot. It's GSA, goal, strategy, action. So every day when you go out, set a goal. Set a weekly goal, a daily goal, a monthly goal, and then have a proper strategy. So whenever I help door-to-door teams get off the ground and running, and I've done this in about 12 different markets with 6 different companies. And the system is really simple. Everybody has written goals, and they write them on a dry erase board. And we go over the strategy for the day. There's always a training. And I strongly suggest role-playing your script and objections and rebuttals every day. Even if you've been doing it for a year, keeping the sword sharpened every single day will help you be in the mindset that the first person that opens the door, you can set an appointment. Because that's usually where you're a little rusty. So that's a good strategy to have. And taking action, rain, sleet, snow. I've had some of my best days door-to-door canvassing in all of the above. There was a rainstorm that hit Austin, Texas about 4 years ago, and I had a team of 12 guys, and we went out and we set 19 appointments in about 3 hours, and it rained. We had told everybody to bring a change of clothes. I gave everybody ponchos and umbrellas, and we went out there and we set leads. Another example, I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma about 3 years ago, and it was a high of about 12 degrees, and it had just it had frozen over. There was an ice storm the day before, but we could drive, and we went out, and me and 3 other guys, we knocked doors, and we set 12 appointments in the freezing cold. I got everybody hand warmers, made sure that they all had jackets, and we took frequent warm-up breaks. And so taking action in the face of resistance, you'd be amazed at your results. So now you can have a lead source 365 days a year that's always going to bring you revenue. So that's what having a proper system does, is that it doesn't matter what the circumstances are, you can always get results. And even if you can't go out there and knock doors, there's always something that you can do. You can prospect, you can recruit. You might even be able to do trade shows and events and have the same team do that. So that's the strategy that I've implemented that's helped me get results. And I want to talk to you guys something that often gets missed, because what I hear of a lot of companies is they have leads, and they're not good leads. Everybody always complains about the leads. So the ingredients of a lead is somebody that has a need, somebody that has an interest, and there's urgency behind it. So this can be done at the door, and what you want to do is on the close, you want to qualify them. And Eric talks about this as the wild card. So need, interest, and urgency. And all you really do is you just reiterate what they already said in the presentation, recap it, identify their need, share, maybe even ask them what interested you in setting the appointment, and putting urgency behind it, giving them a reason to buy, giving them an irresistible offer, or setting the expectation that this is a limited time. These are really great things to add to a lead to increase your results. And I know we're about out of time, but bear with me. There's 2 more points I want to give you guys. And that is setting the proper expectation and having integrity and delivering on what you promise. So anytime you set an appointment or you set a follow-up and you say, I'm going to call you at 5 o'clock on Friday, make sure that you call them on 5 o'clock Friday. And if they don't answer, follow up until they buy or they die. And if you set an appointment and you say, I'm going to be there at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, make sure that your car is there at 9:55 and you're ready to knock on their door for the appointment at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. More sales are lost right here than any other in my experience. And the last principle I want to give you guys, this has been probably the number one differentiator that has helped me have success in door-to-door sales, and that's physiology. Okay, UCLA did a study that people only pay attention to a very small percentage of the words that you say and a very high percentage of exactly what your body language tells them. So if you're selling over the phone or you're setting appointments over the phone, practice smiling, have voice inflection, a really great tone of voice. Lisa Parkinson talked about this a couple of weeks ago. It's a really great call you can listen to. I just have an acronym I'll give you guys. It's called the SEER factor. It's SEEER. Smile, maintain eye contact. Entertainment, make them laugh. Tell a joke, tell them something funny, entertain them. Have enthusiasm, and reciprocity or mirroring. And it's not what you say, but how you say it. So there's a sentence I'm going to say 3 times, and each time I'm going to enunciate a different word, and every single time it has a completely different meaning. So I did not say she stole her money. I did not say she stole her money. I did not say she stole her money. So every single time that I say that same sentence, it has a completely different meaning. And unconsciously, what you're saying is received in a different way to the prospect. So if you ever want to start a door-to-door campaign, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to give you some free consulting advice and maybe identify your needs. As always, share this call with a friend or a coworker. This is an absolutely fantastic way to start your day. I've been listening to it since about mid-January, and it's helped me have phenomenal results. So I appreciate the opportunity, Eric, Thomas, and thank you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Talk to you guys later.